Hello everyone. .NET MAUI has made it ever so easier to build cross-platform applications for mobiles and desktop devices, ranging from iOS and Android mobiles and tablets to Windows and Mac desktops and laptops. But this also opens up a huge challenge for app UI design. Due to the screen real estate and orientation differences between the devices, especially between phones versus tablets and desktops, it becomes extremely difficult to create one app which can cater to both. In most cases, developers create two versions of the same app, one targeting smaller devices such as mobiles or mobile phones, and another for tablets and desktops. So let us look at some examples. Here is the beautiful fantastical calendars app on App Store, Mac App Store, and iPhone. This is one of the most acclaimed UI design on Mac and iPhone. You can see over here the layout differences between the mobile and, let's say, a Mac app or a tablet application. It is not just the layout differences, it is also the content which is different. So imagine creating this UI as one application or one page in your same application. Let's look at another one. This is your Evernote application. Again, the same content. The way information is presented is slightly different. You have a site menu, you have the list of all your notes, and then the actual note which is open. But on the mobile, you have to go through the navigation for this. This is your Spotify application. Again, hugely different between the two. And lastly, this is Apple's own music application. So you get the idea. The extra real estate and orientation on the desktops and tablets requires you to present more information on the screen, which is otherwise not possible on the smaller mobile phones. The screens on the bigger devices need to be reimagined rather than simply scaling up or changing the layout around of the content. Perhaps, show even more content if needed because of the extra real estate. In the UWP days, we could use Visual State Manager and adaptive triggers to play around with the content layout and positioning depending on the device resolution, but that is not possible with .NET MAUI. In my UWP apps, even I used adaptive triggers heavily, but I still struggled with getting the UI and the layout design right across mobiles as well as desktops. It was a huge struggle. So let us come back to how we can solve this problem in .NET MAUI. The very simplest way is to create separate views for different form factors and present the views accordingly. But that actually opens up another issue which we will also talk about and resolve. So let's go ahead and start with the blank project. Let me stop the slideshow. Here we go. So this is a plain vanilla file new Maui application, nothing fancy over here. What we will do, we will start with a simple landing page first. So we will create two pages for this purpose, one for mobile devices and another for desktops. Let us conveniently call these start pages as mobile start page and desktop start page. And for easy maintenance going forward, I will structure them in separate folders. So first of all, let us create subfolders for mobile and desktop, and then we will create our pages there. So what I would like to do, I would like to create a new folder. I will like to call them views. Within views, I will create two subfolders. Let's call them mobile and desktop. And then I will create pages over here. So under the desktop folder, I will create a .NET MAUI content page and call it desktop start page. And under the mobile, I will create mobile start page. And we will just change some text in both these pages to keep it simple. Something like welcome to mobile view in the mobile start page or welcome to desktop view in the desktop start page. So this is our mobile start page. Let's say welcome to .NET MAUI from mobile application. And we will go to our desktop page and we will say welcome to .NET MAUI on from desktop application. Now let us wire up these pages in the app startup file. We will need to use conditional compilation for this. Let me show you the code. If I go to my app startup, so instead of this where we have main page equals to new app shell, we will need to use conditional compilation. So we'll say if Android or iOS, we will do something else, we will do something else. So in Android or iOS, we will say our main page equals to new navigation page, and we'll say new mobile start page. Let me bring in the namespace. And similarly for the desktop, we will say it is desktop start page. Let me bring in this namespace as well. And now let us run the app on both the mobile as well as desktops. So I'm going to run it in the mobile simulator first. I made a typo. So here it is. The app came up. Welcome to .NET MAUI from mobile application. And if I run the same application now on my Mac or on a desktop, we should see welcome to desktop application. Yeah, here you go. Welcome to .NET MAUI from desktop application. So it works. We now have different views across devices. So basically problem solved, correct? Well, not exactly. We have another problem now. For this one page, it is fine and very easy to do. But as your application grows and you have more and more pages, navigation becomes extremely difficult. You have to apply the same kind of code and do conditional checks everywhere and every time you navigate to another page. Let me show you what I mean. Let us say that we now add a button to our start pages, which will take us to our second page. And assuming that the second page also needs to have different layouts depending on the devices that the app is running on, we will need to create multiple views for it, obviously. So let's create these pages and let's call them mobile second page and desktop second page. I'm going to add mobile second page. And I'm going to add desktop second page. And for distinction purposes, let's just change the text in these two pages to differentiate them. So welcome to .NET MAUI. Welcome to second page of .NET MAUI from desktop. And in the mobile second page, welcome to second page of .NET MAUI from mobile. Sweet. So let's now go back and wire up these pages from the start pages. So what we can do, we can add a button to the start pages and perform the navigation via the click event handlers. So let me go to the start page and let's add a button over here. Let's call it text equals to navigate to second page. and clicked some new event handler. So here is our button for this page. I can go and I can copy the same thing over here. So now we have the buttons. And now in the code behind, let's do the navigation. So I'll go to the button handlers, and here I will say await navigation dot push async. So we are in the mobile page, new mobile second page. And I can do the same from my desktop start page. Desktop start page. Here you go. So let us now run the application and see if it works. I'm running it in Mac first. So we have welcome to .NET MAUI from desktop application. Click the button, it takes us to the second page. Welcome to second page of .NET MAUI from mobile. Because I forgot to change it over here. It should be desktop second page. So let's run it again. So we have the Mac Catalyst app running. It's the desktop start page, desktop application, navigate to second page. Welcome to second page of .NET MAUI from desktop. And if I run the same application on iOS now, I should be seeing the second page of the mobile. So we have the mobile application, navigate to second page, and here we have the page which we created specifically for mobile. So it works, but we have hard-coded navigation in the code behind based on mobile or the desktop pages. No conditional compilation here, but there is obviously duplication of code in the code behind. And this was a very, very simple page with just a button and navigation. You may have a very complex layout with a lot of visual elements and actions going on. And anyways, in majority of the cases, you will be using MVVM pattern and bring in a view model to do all the heavy lifting for you and perform the navigation as well. In fact, I would anyway suggest that you use MVVM pattern with this approach so that you can eliminate the duplication of code in code behinds because you have multiple pages. So let us change our application to use view models. We will create a view model for our start page, add a relay command to it, and wire up the buttons in the pages to use this command. First, let me remove the click handlers. So this was on the desktop start page, mobile start page. We can remove the same. Go back to the buttons. We can remove them from our buttons. So we have removed the navigation from here. And then we will need to create the view model. Let me quickly check if I did not make a mistake anywhere. That is fine. So for the view models, I'm going to create a new folder first, calling it view models. And I will create a view model called start page view model. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to just add a reference to iNavigation service from the page in this view model. And add it to my constructor. And then we will hook up this view model in our pages. So I can go to my desktop start page, and there in the constructor I can say this dot binding context is equal to new start page view model, passing in this navigation service. Let me bring in the namespace, and I will do the same thing in my mobile start page. By the way, this is not the best way to connect views with the view models. Stay tuned and subscribe to this channel. I will be posting another video making this process much easier by creating a base page and auto wiring up the view models. So back to this. We will now create a relay command. In the relay command, we will do the same thing that we did in the code behind and write code to navigate to device specific view. But first, we will make use of community toolkit.mvvm package to make our life easier. So let me go and add a package. Let me search for community toolkit.mvvm. If you have not used this package, I highly recommend you look at this. There are some beautiful things which are going around. Before this package, you had to do or write all the boilerplate code yourself related to MVVM. Now anything to do with observable objects, uh, relay commands, I notify property change implementations, everything is done for you automatically. So let me go to my view model. I will change the declaration to a partial class because we'll be using source generators to inject code. And now I'm going to add a relay command. So let me create a function. Let me call it navigate to second page. And in this I can say await navigation service dot push async new, let's say mobile second page. Let me bring in the namespaces for the community toolkit and for the mobile views. Okay, so this is, we are hard coding it to go to the mobile page, but actually we need to do the same thing that we did in our app.xaml file. So let me just bring in the same code over here just to copy paste, and I will replace it. So if it is mobile views, I will navigate to the mobile second page, else I will navigate to the desktop second page. Next, we will need to connect the buttons on the start pages to this new command that we have created, and then we will run the application. So let me go to my desktop start page. So we removed the click handler. Now instead we will bring in a command, binding navigate to second page, and let me copy and paste the same in the mobile start page. So here we go. Let us now run the application and see if nothing is broken. So our simulator comes up, navigate to second page, and it is broken. Set binding navigation to second page command. So let's click on the second page. It still does not work. Navigation, is it? Let me go back. Navigate to second page command. Navigate to second page command. Navigate to second page command. Let's try it now. Yes, it works. As they say, third time is the charm. So it takes me to the second page of the mobile application. If I run it on my Mac, it should do the same. Yeah, here you go. Taking me to the second page from the desktop. So basically it works, but you get the issue. Let me go to the view model. Even though it is working fine, it is just too much of a hassle to do this if-else business every time with the conditional compilations. And imagine if you want to have separate views for mobile, separate views for tablets based on idioms, and separate for desktops, or even separate views between Windows and Mac, or iOS and Android. This will turn into a nightmare very soon. So how can we fix this? What if we could write a service to resolve the device-specific views for us auto-magically? And I emphasize on auto-magically. It sounds very interesting, right? So let us actually do this. For this, we will create a new static class called viewServices and use that class to resolve the pages for us. So let me create a new folder. I'm going to call it services. And in this services, I'm going to create a static class called viewServices. Going to make it static. And then I'm going to add an extension method for our app builder. I can remove the constructor. So let me start up with a iService collection. So I can create private static iService collection. Let me call it services. And then an extension method, public static Maui app builder. It returns the Maui app builder, and let's call it use viewServices. And we will pass in our builder. In this, what we will do, we will just save the reference to the service collection from the builder application, from the builder, from the Maui program into our services variable. Let's say builder.services, and then I'm going to just return this builder. And we are done. Next, I'm going to create a simple helper method which is going to help us resolve content pages for us. Now it is too much code to write, so I'm just going to cheat and do a copy paste. But I will explain what I'm doing. So it is a simple function that we have written. It is called resolve pages. It takes the type of the page and some input parameters that you want to pass when creating an instance of this page, because in your constructor of your page, it may be not take any parameter, or it may be taking 1, 2, 5, 10 different parameters or different types. So what we are doing in this page, we are finding out based on this service or the type of page that we have passed, we are finding out what is the implementation for this page, and then we are creating a, let me, and then we are creating a instance of this page and returning it back to our application. So it is a very, very simple implementation. Now with this done, let us go back to our application, and we need to use this. So all I can simply say is .use view services. Let me bring in the namespace. So we have wired it up in our MAUI program. Next, we need to create interfaces for each of our pages and register them in the DI container. Then the view services will automatically, or rather automagically, resolve the pages based on the device or idiom where the app is running on. So let us create the interfaces. I'm going to go and add a new folder, and I'm going to call them iViews. And here I'm going to create interfaces for my start page and second page. So let me call it iStart page. It's a simple empty interface. Nothing needs to be done over here. Same I will do for second page. The next thing, we will need to implement these interfaces in our pages. So let me go back to our pages. In the desktop second page, I'm just going to go and implement the second page. Let me bring in the namespace. And I will do the same for my mobile second page. I will implement the same interface, and for the mobile start page, I'm going to implement iStart page. Let me copy, and I will do the same for my desktop start page. So we have implemented our interfaces. Now the next thing we need to do, we need to register these interfaces. In our example, we will be using conditional compilation to detect the operating system of the where the application is running on and register OS specific pages accordingly. So let me show you. For this, we can go to our MAUI program now. And let me just, again, save some time and copy paste the code. So here, again, something I'm saying, if conditional compilation check, if it is Android or iOS, add a singleton to the iStart page, which is mobile start page. I can change it to transient. Wherever needed. And then I'm registering the second page on the mobile devices as mobile second page. The same thing I'm doing on the desktop. I'm registering the same interfaces but with different pages, desktop start page and desktop second page. Now we are almost done. All that is left now is to go back to the places where we are navigating to the pages and use our view services helper method instead. So let us start with the app.xaml, and we do not need any of this. We can get rid of this, and we can simply now say main page equals to new navigation page. And instead of passing in the specific page that we want, we can say view services. Let me bring in dot resolve page. So what is the page that we want over here? We want the start page. So that is all we need to do. Now, if I run this application, on the application start automatically for iOS simulator, it will show me the mobile view, and in the Mac Catalyst, it will show me the desktop view. Exactly the same thing I can do. Let me just copy paste or and go back to our view model as well. I can also get rid of this whole thing and I can say await navigation service dot push async, and this time I need to pass in I second page because I want the second page. And let us run the application. If all is working, that is great. Now we have an error. I think we forgot to add the desktop specific views. By the way, if I change it to Mac Catalyst, it will show me these errors and then I can add them. So let me rerun the application again. If everything is well, the app should come up. We have the welcome page from the desktop, and if I click on navigate, it will take me to the second page from desktop. And if I run the same application on iOS now, the same thing should happen. We have the welcome from the mobile application, navigate to the second page, and voila, it works. By the way, you can also pass parameters to your to the constructors of your pages using this view services. So let me show you an example of what I mean. If I go to my second page and if I just create a constructor saying uh, input data, okay, and let me also go ahead and add it to my desktop second page, and I'm going to put a breakpoint over here, and then in our navigation service, while I'm instantiating this second page, I can just pass in some parameter. This can be dynamically coming based on what you are working on. Let's say it might be you have a list of movies, and when you click on a particular movie, you want to navigate to the second page with that movie ID. So let me run it on Mac quickly. Navigate to second page, and you can see our breakpoint has been hit and the data has been passed from the view model when instantiating a new instance of this page. So here you have it. By the way, just a reminder, I will be posting a separate video on how to auto wire views with view models and pass such parameters directly to the view models. So please stay tuned for that. So yeah, here you go. An easy way to show mobile specific or device specific views in your applications. I hope you found it useful. Stay tuned for more and press the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also click on the notification bell if you want to stay updated on the new content related to .NET MAUI. See you all.